Okay, this is Math Board 5. A video clip of a cute puppy was viewed 1.2 times 10 to the 4th times in 1 week. Okay, 1.2 times 10 to the 4th in 1 week, and 20,000 times in the following week. Find out in scientific notation the total number of times the clip was viewed over the 2-week period. So I have 1.2 times 10 to the 4th, and I'm adding to it 20,000. Except this is not in scientific notation. So to change this into scientific notation, I need to put a decimal place after the first digit. And to change this, I have to take the decimal and divide it, or rather move the decimal 1, 2, 3, 4 places. I made this number smaller, right, from 20,000 to 2. I made this number smaller by 10 to the 4th because I moved the number over, okay? So if that's a little confusing, let me just review real quick. How can I write this with a base of 10? 20,000 times a base of 10, 10 to the what? So that it doesn't change this. It has to be 10 to the power of 0. Then I took the decimal and I made this smaller by 1, 2, 3, 4 places. If I make this smaller, that means this has to get bigger by the same number. So I moved it 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. That means I'm going to make this bigger by 4. Okay, so 2 times 10 to the 4th. In the last video, I explained that if this part is the same, right, exactly the same, 10 to the same exponent, then all you need to do is to add this. So 1.2 plus 2 is 3.2, and then I leave this part the same, times 10 to the 4th. Okay. Number 2, solve 1/2 times the quantity 2x minus 10 equals x plus 1. So I have 1/2, 2x minus 10, 1/2 times that quantity. Okay, 1/2 times 2x is just x. 1/2 times negative 10 is negative 5. Get all my variables over to the same side. I'm taking this x and eliminating it. When I do that, I get 0x minus 5 equals 1. However, 0x is just plain 0, which I didn't need to write down at all. So that means my variable has disappeared, and when the variable disappears, we know that it's either no solution or it's infinite solution. Okay, this statement that I have is false. We know that that is no solution. That's A. Okay, find the value in x for the following inequality. So I'm going to need to distribute. So I'm going to have 12x minus 6x plus 12. 12 is less than 54. Okay, combining my like terms, I have 6x plus 12 is less than 54. Subtract 12 from both sides. I have 6x is less than 42. Divide both sides by 6. X is less than 7. The measure of angle Z, they want us to find it. So in a triangle, the 3 angles to a triangle equal 180. I was thinking 150 because when I add these two, I get 180. Scratch all that. The 3 angles in a triangle, the sum of the 3 angles is 180. So x plus 80 plus 70 equals 180. When I add these together, I get 150. When I solve for x, I get 30. So x equals 30, but that is not the question. That's what this is. So this is 30. So then it is asking us, what is this angle? Okay, so this angle is a straight line right here, and the angle of a straight line is 180. If this part is 30, then this part is what's missing. 180 minus 30 is 150. The length of side x, what is the length of side x in the following triangle? So you have to use the Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem is only used when you have right angle triangles, and it says that if you take the length of this side, for now I'll call it A, and you square it, no, I don't want to square right here, that would be confusing. So I'm going to call this the length of A, I'm going to call this the length of B, and I'll call this length C. The Pythagorean theorem says if you take the two sides that are adjacent to the right angle, so this side and this side, if you take those two sides and you square the sides individually, so A squared plus B squared, that is going to be the length of the hypotenuse also squared. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared, where A and B are the sides adjacent to the right angle, and C is the hypotenuse. So they are asking us to figure out this length, in other words, B, the way I've labeled them. So A is 4, so I'm going to say 4 squared, plus I have to figure out this side, so I'm still leaving that as B squared, equals C squared, and C is 5, so C squared would be 5 squared. So then I have 16 plus B squared equals 25. Subtract 16 from both sides. I'm going to get B squared equals 9. And then this is asking the question, what number times itself is equal to 9? So B times B, what number times itself is equal to 9? 3. 3 times 3 is equal to 9, so B is equal to 3, because 3B times B, or 3 times 3 equals 9. This water container at a factory empties at a rate of 15 feet cubed per hour. So in other words, this is the volume, because the units are cubed. How long will it take to empty the full container? Oh. This water container at a factory empties at the rate of 15 cubic feet per hour. How long will it take to empty a full container? The first thing I have to figure out is how much the container will hold. In other words, I need to figure out its volume. Volume equals the base times the height. Oh, that's not an H. The base times the height, where the base is always the area of the bottom, or the area of the top. Okay, the area of the base. All right, well here the base is a circle. So here volume is going to equal the base of the area of the circle, right? So the area of a circle's area is pi r squared. So the base, which is the area of the circle, is going to be pi r squared times its height, which is in this case going to be 30. So the volume equals pi r, which is 10, squared times the height, which is 30. So that's going to be pi times 10 squared is 100 times 30. So 100 times 30 is 3,000. Pi which is approximately 3.14. So it's going to be over 9,000, just over 9,000. I think you'll probably be allowed to use a calculator for this one. So 3,000 times 3.14 is about 9,420 feet cubed. So then to figure out how long, if it's emptying out at 15 feet cubed per hour, and I want to figure out how long it's going to take to empty the whole thing, I would then divide this by 15. So 9,420 divided by 15 is approximately 628 hours.